You know the game gone and my mind been blown. Different decisions that I done made got me fucked up now. Still gon' thug the life I'm living, still gon' hold this shit down. Every day of my life, yeah, nigga chasing cheese. And the same niggas that be around there won't see you off your feet. My mama been doing bad, but I ain't going into that. I done picked that girl up when I caught my first package out these pounds. Me and my people hurting for something for a day. That shit happened, the next man ain't getting nothing. Faded the root of evil, and that's my damn best friend. I put that on my life, ain't nobody gon' fuck with him. You try to jam it, yeah, that ass getting chopped. Trying to serve ain't got no business on my block, I bet you're getting chopped. Now either way you try to fuck with my pocket, don't believe that ass getting chopped.
What's going on, my brothers and sisters out there? It's your boy PBK9's Dog TV and News, giving it to you the way I always do. Fair and unbiased, raw and uncut. Some brothers gonna like it and some ain't, man. John Demery, what's going on with you? You can hear me good out there? What's going on, Don Juan Black? You can hear me good out there, big homies? Street Rossi, what's going on? I'm trying to get a mic check from y'all brothers. Y'all can hear everything good? Caveman, somebody let me know something. Okay, Street Rossi, I got you. Big salute to all the pet lovers across the world. Big salute to all the pit bull breeders across the world, from the top of the planet to the bottom of the planet. We about to get into this dog news tonight. We about to get into this dog talk tonight. Got a little teeny bit of news and a lot more dog talk. We got some questions to ask, you know what I'm saying? And you know, and we just gonna take it there. You know, I want to send a big RIP once again to my brother on this side of town that passed away over the past couple of days, big timer. And I want to send a RIP to George Foreman, heavyweight champ out there. You know, lost two good brothers in the last few days. You know, so I want to send my RIP to them brothers, man. Big salute to everybody in the chat, everybody that's watching this video from afar, man. You know, I'm gonna go ahead and knock this news out the way. That way we don't have nothing to interrupt us once we get into that dog talk. You know what I'm saying? We got a little young handheld baby who lost her life from a pit bull, you know, and it may not have been a pit bull, you know, I could be wrong, but we're gonna look at this together. And I just know, you know, we have a little bit of what we call irresponsibility. You know, a person fell asleep while they was babysitting, you know, and when they woke up, the baby was all destroyed. You know, that's the story. So we're gonna get into that news article, and then we're gonna jump into this dog talk.
Hearing tonight, this is a terrible story. We're hearing from a broken-hearted Shelby County mother whose baby died following a dog attack.
That's right. The mother says this is an incident that could have been avoided. Your reporter Taylor Pollock joins us live now. Taylor, this is a tough one.
It is such an incredibly sad story. According to her obituary, Ember Southard is being remembered for her smile, her laugh, and the huge impact that she made on family and friends in her 6 short months on this earth. Shelby County Coroner Lina Evans says baby Ember was dropped off at another family member's house, and that family member fell asleep. The baby then fell out of their lap, and when that family member woke up, the baby was unresponsive. Evans says there were injuries all over the baby girl's body, consistent with a dog attack. The baby was rushed to Children's of Alabama but did not survive. 2 dogs lived at that home. Tonight, the mother of Ember sharing the following statement with me, saying, quote, "It was an avoidable and tragic accident. My daughter is gone forever because of it. Please practice safe sleep. Please don't allow your children around dogs." Sabin was an 11-year-old American bully with no history of violence to humans and had been around countless children. Coroner Lina Evans says working cases like these are never easy.
I feel sad whenever someone is doing what they normally do and they die as a result of something that's beyond their control or someone else. I know we're around our animals and we trust our animals, but we always have to keep in mind that animals are animals and they're unpredictable.
Alabaster police are still investigating. In addition to a GoFundMe set up to help Ember's family with funeral costs, donations can also be called in to Rocco Funeral Home in Montevallo. You can find the links in my story on the WBRC News app.
Now that's a sad, sad story there, man. That's a sad story. I mean, man, you know, we get up here, we talk about this illegal dog fighting and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you know, that's illegal. But try to be as responsible as you can with these dogs. We don't need no incidences like this happening, man. You know, we don't need no incidences like this happening. You know, like I said, just a sad situation. What's going on by time? City Boy Kendall's in the building. Yes, sir, man. The boys say they want some pay-per-view tonight. You know what I'm saying? I'll get a little bit of dog talk. You know, since this is what we're gonna do tonight, right? We done talk enough trash about David Tant. Tonight we gonna give David Tant his props. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm tired of we talk about David Tant enough, you know, and certain things he did do that was crooked. But tonight, you know, I'm gonna give a man his flowers. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, you know, it's a lot of stuff we're gonna have to talk about. Now, let me start off by saying this. You know, for anybody that say YouTube, you know, is the way a lot of these modern dog brothers are known. It's it's the only way certain people are known. You know, this is what I got to say about that. You know, and I'm gonna try to do this show tonight, speaking respectfully, but I got a lot of questions I want to ask. You know what I'm saying? If you don't know me, you know, what does that mean? You know, a lot of y'all old schoolers better be thankful for these YouTube channels, because you would have went to your grave unknown. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the thing about it, you didn't know me then, but you know me now. You know, and that's all that matters. So you still trying to live on the past. We can't live on the past. That's like a brother in the street saying, "Oh, I was running that block back then. You ain't running that shit now." That's what matters. It don't matter what you did. It matter what you're doing now. You know, at the end of the day. So for anybody that say, "Oh, a lot of these folk wouldn't be known if it weren't for YouTube," a lot of y'all old schoolers wouldn't be known if it weren't for that Sport Dog Journal. You know, so it's just tick for tack on that end. You know, and this is what I got to say about that as well. You know, this is an open panel tonight. It's an open panel to talk about anything, but I still got to address some issues. You know, I asked, what do brothers feel like is the best producing dog of all time? Brother Ken Lightning said Honey Bunch. You know, and I don't feel like no answer is wrong. You know, when it comes to these dogs, most of the time, all this stuff is going to be opinionated, unless you're talking about facts on a particular subject, like a pedigree or something. Most of this stuff is going to be opinionated. What you feel like, this is your opinion about these lines. If I speak high on the yellow lines, that's my opinion. If I speak down on the Eli, that's my opinion. You know what I'm saying? And that's just where it's going to be, man. You know, now I want to touch on this real quick before I get deep off in that dog talk. Dogs that's late coming in heat, and some dogs that may not have come in heat at all, or taking their slow time to come in heat. We use the hot helper, we use breed heat, we use all these supplements, and they're great supplements. They all work. But another thing that also works is taking your dog out and giving them some exercise. Exercise, especially if your dog haven't been out exercising in the past couple of months or so. Take them out, give them a good walk. Change up the routine for about a week. That works just as good as that hot helper and all that stuff. The hot helper and stuff it's just like the treadmill, and not the hot helper, just all supplements. It's just like the treadmill. It's just a quicker way to do something, a quicker way to go around that, around that river. Oh, I do got one more question for my brothers and sisters down in the chat before we get deep off into this thing. How long is too long for a puppy to be on the road with a transporter? Because I ran across a problem in my day, and I'm not going to say who it was. I'm just going to say in my day. So you never know if it was 3 years ago, 2 years ago, a month ago. But the thing is, when us brothers and sisters make these dogs, and we have these dogs a certain kind of way, we want these dogs to look that way when the owner get them. This to all transporters out there. If you're thinking about transporting, I need for that dog to look the same way it did when I gave him to you. You know what I'm saying? If you give the dog, you can't see. I had a transporter tell me this. Oh, it looks good, man. It looks good. It looks good to him. That's not what I'm paying you for. I'm paying you to transport my dog the way I gave him to you. You know what I'm saying? And that's all I got to say about that, man, because I really got an issue with me getting my dogs to a certain point and then me giving them to a transporter, and the transporter give them to you looking a certain kind of way. That's why I asked, how long is too long to be on the road? 1 day, 2 days? We know it's going to have to be more than 1 day, but we're talking about puppies. We're not talking about big dogs. A week, 2 weeks? How long is too long for a puppy to be on the road? Once we start getting that 2 week bracket, we talking about your puppy missing wormers and all kind of stuff. Why he on the road? He should have been wormed and all, different little things. May have needed a shot since the last time he left the owner, if he on the road for 2 weeks. And I'm not putting this on nobody. I'm just asking a question. How long is too long for a transporter? Them big dogs, they can take it. Them big dogs, they can take it pretty good. But them young dogs, man, it really takes a toll on their body. I think myself personally, I think when you start getting around that week mark, a couple days, I think it's fine maybe. But I think when you start getting around that week mark with a puppy, you kind of pushing it a little too far. Mr. Nichols say 3 days. I agree with you, Mr. Nichols. Young puppies, man, they don't need to be out there on that road long like that, And it does depend on the care of the transporter. That's another major factor, like Caveman said. Depends on the care of the transporter, but a few days for a puppy, man, because I'm gonna use myself for example. A lot of times I feed my puppies up to 3 times to 4 times a day. I feed them in the morning time. I feed them in the afternoon for like a lunch. I feed them regular dinner, and then I may give them a nighttime snack just to go down. Some kind of around about that 7 o'clockish. And I'm talking about young puppies, you know, and that's just to make sure that they ate throughout the day, because you know sometimes the puppies may not eat as much as the other puppies. So that's just to make sure everybody ate they fair share of dog food throughout the day. You know, so if the transporter get them, I can't really pressure him to feed them 4 times. But at the same time, if you got him out here for a week and a half, and this dog went from eating 4 times a day, not eating 1 time, and not even really eating 1 time good, you know, it can really take a toll on a small puppy, man. And it can really make the breeder look a certain kind of way to the person that's getting the dog, because you like all the person that's getting the dog is thinking is, oh dang, this is how he's giving my dog. The person who's receiving the dog, they looking at it like the dog just snapped and came from over there. You know, so for any brother that's thinking about getting that transport thing, man, just make sure you take pride in the brother's product that you're getting. You know what I'm saying? And just deliver that package the way you got it. Same way, the rules still apply, man. You don't put no cut on that thing. Give that thing the way I gave it to you. You know, and everything will be good. You know what I'm saying? And big salute to all the brothers and sisters down in the chat, man. Yellow One, what's going on? What's going on in the building? Yes, sir. Now, let me show you this real quick. Let me show y'all brothers this real quick. Now, this right here, I'm showing you this for a reason. This will make your dog, your male dog, do that prolapse thing where his thing be stuck out. You know, a dog will be in heat, you know, and he'll be doing that on his chain. And he'll go into that prolapse thing, and you'll have a hard time, and you'll wonder why this thing hanging out, and it'll be stuck out for sometimes weeks at a time, maybe, you know, until you get it right. And it may not never go in. He may be destroyed, you know. So don't underestimate, you know, just let your dog run around them dogs in heat and they want to get some. And you wonder why his thing stuck out like that. You know what I'm saying? Just because of that situation that you just seen in that video. I'm gonna take that back. It's one way that it can happen. You know, it's not the only way, but one way. Now, let's talk about these bulldogs, brothers and sisters. Show enough out there somewhere. Show enough out there somewhere. Hey, one thing about Show enough, he out there listening somewhere. Show enough, man. Show enough. Tell me to give some pay-per-view tonight. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, we're going to get to him, Scatterbread, and respectfully, you know. Now, this is what I got to say about them dogs, man. When it comes to these stories, and there's no disrespect to no brother, when it comes to these stories, what I got to realize, what you got to realize, and the next brother got to realize, it's just a story. Nothing more, nothing less. It's not the hierarchy of the dog game. It's not the standards of the dog game. It's just a story. Every man is just a story amongst this game. You know what I'm saying? And Natural Cuts, what's going on? Salute the Natural Cuts in the building, man. Every man's story is just a story. Because I say, I'm telling you my story about the yellow dogs on my end, the stuff that I've been through, it's just a story. It's not the standards. It's not all of all when it comes to these dogs. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying that to say this, you know, what you seen don't mean it's what the next brother seen. You know, and I don't care what kind of bulldog is around. No matter how good you thought or how good you think or I think my bulldog was, it's always another bulldog that was better than that. You know, whether you saw it or not. Even the dogs that we consider famous dogs, Jeep, Yellow, Homer, these dogs, it's always a story that pops up about how these dogs duck and dodge certain people, how these dogs duck and dodge this brother with this dog. No matter who you think you is, you know, it's always a better dog out there. So if you got a great dog, if I got Sambo, then if I understand that it's a dog that's better than him, shit, man, there's some great dogs out there. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we can't get it twisted, man. Because I get up here and say, oh, Sambo was destroying stuff. He was an instant KODOA. All right. But at the end of the day, it was dogs better than that. Whether it was in the United States, Europe, Mexico, it was dogs better. You know, and whether I say Yellow was the great producer, the best producer in the world in history, somewhere or another, whether they're on paper or whether they're known or not, some dogs produce better than Yellow. You know, and I'm not just talking about the famous ones, I'm talking about the unknown. So we can never get content to thinking what we saw is the Holy Grail. Okay, what I'm saying that is this to speak about this, right? When I say them yellow dogs made a change in the game, I say that. See, the brother Samurai made a good statement this morning, and I want to use that for my show tonight. You know, if we take the human emotions from these dogs, a lot of shit will be figured out differently. You see, that human emotion, we were speaking about in packs and stuff. Them boys were speaking about packs and stuff like that. But I'm talking about in bulldogging right now. If we remove that human emotion, even me, if we remove the human emotion, you get better dogs. You can see certain things. You see, I might got a brother, I might say, oh man, I don't like his dog because I don't like him as a person. That's because human emotion involved. You know what I'm saying? You got to remove all that stuff if you try to get to the best. If you try to see certain things, you know what I'm saying? And what I'm speaking about now is because we got to give David Tant his props. What we're going to do is remove human emotion. The dog himself, what that man brought to the table, grand champion Yellow, remove human emotion. We don't care because your friends don't like him. We don't care because your friends got a problem with him. Talk about the dogs. The man let the dog do the damn talking. So we got a lot of dog talk to talk about to give that man his flowers for the good shit he did doing this damn game. You know, it just is what it is, man. So let's speak about it like this. See, a lot of people don't like when I say them yellow dogs was doing certain things. And at the end of the day, you know, I'm gonna put it like this. You got the 96 Bulls and them Bulls in that Jordan era when they won 3 back-to-back. Everybody who didn't play on that team, on that Bulls team, they got different opinions about the Bulls team. Or they are what you call I coulda, shoulda, and woulda did Bulldogs. You see, everybody who didn't play on that 96 Bull team before that, they said, oh, it's no such thing as a Michael Jordan. Oh, it's no such thing as these guys. The level that them guys took it to, nobody's seen it before. So just imagine if they would have never been here, then right now today, you'd have still been saying, oh, it's levels to this thing. That's why the title of this video is called Sky's the Limit. When it comes to these Bulldogs, you never, ever, ever let no dog, man, I don't give a fuck how old he is, how young he is, tell you it's a limit to these Bulldogs. You only gonna see a certain amount of good Bulldogs in your lifetime. You see, and let's just be real about it. If we're gonna be real about it, let's be real about it. The Bulldogs ain't getting sorrier. The Bulldogs ain't changing. Great Bulldogs gonna always be here. They was always here. The only thing changing is the laws and the things you could do with these Bulldogs and the things you choose to do with these Bulldogs. So the only thing changed. You see, I can brag about Sambo, and it's quite, I can maybe get another one, but I can't get another Sambo because I can never do the things that I did to get that dog. You see, I did things that I could never in my life do again when I had that dog. No matter what bloodline, I don't give a damn if I got a dog straight off Grand Champion Yellow right now. I can't do the same things I did when I had Sambo. So that would make that dog off Yellow seem like a mediocre dog to Sambo in 2025. But at the end of the day, it ain't the dog. It's what we can do with the dogs. You see, the dogs ain't changing, man. And the thing about it, back then when Yellow was born, less brothers had great dogs. Right now, a whole lot more brothers got great dogs. So it's gonna be different. It's gonna make you feel like the dog game ain't the same, you know. But a lot of brothers stayed on their breeding. A lot of brothers kept their dogs going a certain kind of way. You know what I'm saying? And it just is what it is. We got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight, my brothers. You know, we got to take the emotion out of these dogs. And when brothers got good dogs, they got good dogs. That's just is. It just is what it is. You know, how many people before Tom Brady said Tom Brady couldn't reach the levels he reached? It would have never been a quarterback to play in 10 Super Bowls in 20 years. Oh, but now he did it. It could somebody, it shows you somebody else can break them records. You know, when brothers say them dogs, you know, aren't the same. Let me ask y'all brothers a question. This is a simple question. If we go back to the early 1900s, do anybody agree or disagree? In order for you to feel like the 90s were the best dogs, you had to feel like those dogs were the best dogs in history. You think them brothers in the early 1900s didn't feel like they had the best dogs? If you ask Mr. Kobe, who's the best breeder in the world, but don't name himself, who got the best dogs, he would never name David Tant. He gonna name brothers from his era because he know brothers who will make David Tant look like a peon in his era when it comes to bulldogging. You know, every era have they dogs that stand out. It don't make no difference what era it is. You got the 1900s and Kobe and them boys, when only certain people had dogs, certain dogs stood out because of the era and the circumstances of the era. The magazine era, certain dogs stood out because of the circumstances of the era. The social media era, certain dogs stood out because of the circumstances of the era. You see, you're going to always have that. And it's going to always be good and great bulldogs. We just got to, as dog men, stop hating on these young brothers. Let these young brothers fly. Like DMX say, let me fly or give me death. Stop hating on these young brothers. You know, like I always say, brother, I'm quite sure when I was 19, like I told brothers, you don't think the word was when I was 19? Oh, I couldn't have a great dog. And like I said, when I was 19, I had the best dog I ever seen, you know? And the thing about it, because you have one good dog, don't mean you can't have another one. See, a lot of these brothers, like I said before, you're not working with families of dogs. You bouncing back and forth. You mixing this, mixing that, mixing this, mixing that. You know? And then you trying to tell me the 96 Bulls ain't possible. Tom Brady ain't possible. You know, a lot of y'all brothers, like I said before, you got problems with David Tant because of what other brothers got problems with him with. You don't got problems with him because he gypped these brothers with them black dogs. You got problems with something you don't got no business even worrying about. You're not mad because the man sold people Presa Canaries and Cane Corsos. You don't care about that. You care about some shit that ain't got nothing to do with you. It ain't your business. And that's how a lot of these brothers be in the dog game, man. You know what I'm saying? That's how a lot of them be. But we just gotta do this dog talk tonight, my brothers, and do it the way we know how to do it. Told Tom Brady he wasn't gonna be nothing without Belichick. Went and got him another Super Bowl without Belichick. You know, and believe me, I know bulldogs, real bulldogs, you know, they come where they come. But when you breeding consistency, when you breeding high percentages, see, these brothers gonna get out here and tell you high percentages don't exist. That's because they're not involved with a family of dogs. You know what I'm saying? They can't tell you that. A street Rossi say, who was the oldest person I went in the square? I ain't gonna really answer that, street Rossi, because I feel like that's like saying who use steroids when I went against them. You know, I can't use that as an excuse. You know what I'm saying? Age is not wisdom. You know what I'm saying? Like I said before, you got brothers right now today that's been in the dog game, Street Rossi. I'm talking about all their life, and they never, ever, ever had a high class bulldog to this damn day. I don't give a damn what they say. You know what I'm saying? You got brothers right now today that they think they bulldog so much, but in their heart, they know they pick and choose. They know they cherry pick. Like I said, Street Rossi, you say who the oldest brother I ever went against? I don't know who the oldest was, but I know when I was 19, I was kicking up dust. And I'm talking about some top dollar bulldogs. And I just see a problem with that. These older brothers, you don't like to make it comfortable for these younger brothers. You don't like to really give these younger brothers the edge. You want to make it seem like it was all in our era. Listen, I came in that same era with the rest of them brothers. You know what I'm saying? They ain't did no more different bulldogs than what I did. I don't care who it is. If we all from that 90s era, we ain't talking about no 80s. If y'all want to talk about 80s, that's before my time. If you talking about them 90s, I was in it with all y'all motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? All y'all, we don't know each other, and that's good. You know why? That's why I still was bulldogging when you was probably out of the game. You know what I'm saying? These brothers brag about being known when being known what got them in trouble back in the days. You know what I'm saying? A lot of y'all brothers are in the positions you in because you was trying to be known. You was trying to be known when we was trying to bulldog. We was trying to figure out who got bulldogs or not. You know, all that trying to be known you was doing, but you ain't got up here telling me a story yet. You know, about some shit when you had all the top dogs around your square. You know, I tell you this, Street Rossi, and I'm gonna say this without mentioning any old schoolers' name. It's some old schoolers from the heart of this area right here. This area with Yellow, Red Boy, all them come from. It's a old schooler, well-respected bulldogger. That shit, this 19-year-old out his money. He played the game dirty in a square, and he had to do that because I had the type of dog that he couldn't play games with. You know, and I ain't gonna say his name. But what they did was no different than rubbing your dog. A cheat is a cheat. You know, and that's why I say I don't got too much respect on some of these old schoolers, man. You know, y'all the one brought that rubbing and all that stuff like that. A lot of these young boys don't even know about that stuff. That shit come from the 90s era, man. You ain't hear Mr. Kobe and all them brothers from back in the days talking about all that rub. Y'all brothers brought all that frog piss and all that other stuff to the game, man. In the 90s. And when them yellow dogs came and y'all couldn't keep up, you get mad because I say that shit. But it would happen. It happened like that. It was what it was. You know what I'm saying? And like I said before, David Tant get his flowers. You know, and this is what I want to say about that. I gotta speak about this real quick. Because I heard something that I really didn't agree with. And like I said, tonight we ain't disrespecting nobody. All I've been hearing was great bulldog talk over the past few days. You know, when I've been watching different brothers' channels and shows. You know, and if any brother feel like I say something wrong or I may have said something incorrect, then you know, do your little, you know, talk about it. It is what it is, man. But I got to say this. You know, no matter how old some of these brothers get, Mad Doctor, by time, no matter how old some of these brothers get, they still want you to say you're rolling your dogs on national TV. You know, they still want you to show some type of something like that on national TV. Like I said, being unknown is what kept a lot of brothers out of the circles that got certain brothers in trouble. You know, I mean, let me ask you this, brother, and this any brother or sister. If I tell you I had the best dope in the 90s, I had the best dope in the 90s, and you tell me you from North Carolina, Virginia, I say I had the best dope in North Carolina and Virginia in the 90s, running the interstate. And you tell me you from North Carolina and you don't know me, is that a bad thing? I mean, get real. Is that a bad thing? We're talking about two illegal things. So that's why I can't compare this. If I tell you I had the best shit in the 90s and you don't know me, that's not a bad thing. That's how I made it to get far as I did, because I kept you from knowing me. You know, only a selective few need to be in your circle. Yes, sir, man. Yes, sir. And now we speaking on Bulldog Talk tonight, you know. And this is why I'm speaking, like, when your percentages are down your whole career, you can't expect to be producing great dogs on a regular. You know what I'm saying? And brothers will not acknowledge that all dogs are not on the same level. You know what I'm saying? If I'm telling brothers, I had a few Frisco dogs. I had several of them, but I had more homeboys that invested more time into them dogs than I did. I only had to have a few of them, and I made changes to go other routes. You know, I don't got 20 years invested in no Frisco dogs, but I got 20 years invested in yellow dogs. I don't got 20 years invested in bolio dogs, but I got 20 invested in the other ones. You know, so I can't tell you about them bolio dogs the way I can tell you about certain yellow dogs, how they lay down dogs. You know, back then, a lot of them dogs was lay down dogs. You know, I can't tell you about certain lines like that. You know, and it just, we get to the point where a lot of brothers try to limit what the next brother could have had or maybe will have in the future. You know, I can never tell none of these young brothers in this chat or watching this video that you'll never have a Sambo, you'll never have a Big John, you'll never have a yellow. Man, listen, man, you cannot think, no matter what I say, yellow was the greatest producer. You cannot think that yellow, Jeep, Mayday, whatever dog it is, you cannot think these dogs were God's gift to the earth when it comes to dogs. Like, they was the best ever. Some people just wasn't known. David Tant came from the era, the same era that Victor came from. When it start getting into that money, it start getting into advertising, do like this, do like that. That's why they left brothers like Chavis, Mr. Burns, and them other brothers behind, because they weren't from that era. You know, Tant figured it out, and Victor was way younger, so he was gonna figure it out. There's levels to these dogs, man. Some dogs come with more ifs, ands, and buts than other ones. You know, and when you're working with a family of dogs, you can pinpoint your ifs, ands, and buts. You know how to work with your ifs, ands, and buts. You know, you can't just drop a foxhound or a coonhound in the woods and think he gonna come back with you a medal. It's a team thing. You gotta know what you're dropping out there. You gotta react as a team with that dog. You see, I can give Mr. 216 Grand Champion Mayday as a puppy. And this is no disrespect to Mr. 216. But he may never be Mayday in the hands of Mr. 216. He may never be Mayday in the hands of Pelican Bay. Victor had that dog. You know, he get credit for that dog. You know, it's like, we got a lot of topics to speak about tonight, man. You know what I'm saying, when it comes to these dogs. I just feel like, you know, it's too many dogs out here to say it's not great dogs the way it was. You know, it's just the fact that the laws change, the whole way of life has changed, so it's gonna seem that way. You know, a lot of brothers can't adapt. They think they're adapting, but really they ain't adapting. They're adapting to getting up here telling their story, but they ain't adapting to real society. and what's going on out here. You know, what would be the outcome if I sold City Boy Mayday? If I sold Street Rossi Mayday? You know what I'm saying? John Denver Mayday as a puppy. What would be the outcome of that dog? Would it be one of the most famous dogs right now today? It's a good chance he would be, and a very good chance he wouldn't be. A high chance that he wouldn't be the same dog. No disrespect to none of us brothers, but every dog has his air. Every dog, it's a team thing. You know, and we're going to get to a topic in a minute, brothers. We're about to get to a topic that I really want to get to tonight. It's about, and I want to speak about this in a respectful way. It's about something I heard about brothers not testing their dogs and the gameness trait laying dormant in dogs. In my opinion, that's a false statement. I feel like gameness cannot lay dormant in your American Pit Bull Terrier. You know, and this is the questions I gotta ask about that. You know, this is the question I gotta ask about that. Some of your best dogs was not touched. Some of the best dogs, the bloodlines that we got today was not, that come down off of dogs that wasn't touched at all. You know, so when does the genes go dormant? You know, and what I'm hearing is my dog must roll in order to keep these genes active. How does these genes tell the difference between a roll and your dog chasing after a bird in the street? You see, the only way a gameness trait can be even considered dormant or anything like that is if you put that dog inside of a box and just leave him there forever. Put him in a cage and leave him there forever. He can never go out. At some point, he's going to get agitated. At some point, he's going to use his gameness, even if it's to break out that cage. Gameness won't be dormant. See, gameness is something a lot of y'all dog brothers never had in your dog from the start. So you may think it was dormant. You may think it's going dormant, but actuality, you never had the gameness you thought you had. You see, let me ask you this. You know, how about Jeep? How about Tab Jr.? You know, a lot of these dogs weren't touched. But did that change the quality of dog that they produce? How many generations does it take for your genes to go dormant? These are just questions I have to ask. There's no such thing as fighting a dog keeps his gameness traits active. Let me tell you why. A Belgian Malinois and a Dutch Shepherd are as game as dogs as they come. And some of y'all gonna get mad, but some of them Belgian Malinois are gamer than y'all brothers Pit Bulls that you stand high on today. Them dogs never fight a dog a day in their life. So where are the gameness traits? Where are their traits laying dormant at? You know, I'm trying to figure it out. You know, how, and this is the thing. It's not true, brothers. Certain things, it don't take much to let you see it ain't true. How long does it take for gameness to go dormant? Okay, boom. Say you got a champion. He made champion at 2 years old. When does his genes go dormant? Once you retire that dog. You retired him from rolling. He don't roll no more. You just got him sitting in the house. He's 9 years old. Does his genetic makeup change? Does he throw off a weaker dog now because he's not rolling? Just say, for instance, This is Grand Champion Yellow, and I retired him at 3 years old. Okay, now say Yellow's 10 years old. I get a puppy off of him. He haven't rolled since he was 7. I get a puppy off Grand Champion Yellow, and I don't roll the puppy at all. I produce more puppies. The mama didn't roll. The daddy ain't rolled in 7 years. When does the trait go dormant? If that is true. Trevor Laley say it takes a bad breeding for him to go dormant. You're exactly right, Trevor. You know what that bad breeding means? You pushing the gameness away from your dog. It's not that you dormant, it's that you taking gameness away from him by breeding it away from the dog. The dog that you breeding to is not game as you think it is. The trait ain't dormant. This trait ain't here. You know? Hey, that brother, he not in work playing dormant. That brother didn't show up to work. Shit. And that's what we can't get confused. You know, and I'm just trying to name examples of ways that the greatest pit bulls just sat around not doing nothing, but they traits stay the same. You see, my dog can chase a squirrel. My dog can chase a deer until he can't breathe no more. How does his genetics know that that's a deer and that's a dog? How does his genes know that? Yeah, that dog know it, but how does his genetics know it to trigger things off to say, oh, we're not trying to trigger this off? You can't, brother. You take this dog out and he triggers off at a cat. That's why I say it's no way to keep that shit dormant if it's there. Unless you just keeping that dog perfectly in the house, perfectly never doing nothing, and eventually he'll break out the cage. You can't keep gameness down. You know? Now, this is what I say. This is what I say. By not seeing how game your dogs is, by not checking certain things, taking them to the woods, seeing if you can really run with a boy, what you do is you don't give yourself the opportunity to see which dog is the gamest. You know? Okay, yeah, I got a little off Grand Champion Yellow, right? I'm not gonna roll my dog off Yellow. I'm gonna sell all the puppies except for 2. And I'm not gonna roll mine because they came off of Yellow. And they're gonna be great dogs. But the thing is, I don't know out of that litter which one is actually the gamest. You know? But it has nothing to do with my gameness being there. You know, and one thing when it comes to this dog stuff, man, like I said, you take human emotion out of these things when it comes to these dogs. A lot of brothers, including myself, and when I say myself, I mean the ones that hate against me. You know, they're only hating certain brothers because the next man, they have no problem with these brothers at all. No real problem. Take the human emotion away from it and talk about these dogs. You know, let's talk about who made an enterprise of dogs, who made a conglomerate of dogs. See, some brothers may think nobody ever made a conglomerate, an enterprise, you know, of these dogs. See, let's go back to Mr. Kobe. Mr. Kobe, you know, started it off. You would consider Mr. Kobe an enterprise, a man who bulldog from the 1800s until the 1900s, at least the mid 1900s. You don't know how much money he made off his dogs. You don't know how much his family benefited from his dogs. All the Kobe brothers, all the Kobe grandkids that's benefited from these dogs because of what Mr. John P. Kobe did. But you don't call that an enterprise. You don't call that a conglomerate. You know, we still got dogs now. We still mention that brother name right now today, 100 years later. He certified to say he did what he did for his time. Brothers in their era. You see, now let's speak about David Tant. Let me give you the props this brother deserved. You see, this brother was a true conglomerate in his era. More than Tom Garner, more than a lot of these brothers that hate David Tant. See, they hate him because of something else, but they couldn't stop the dogs. And this is the thing. Yeah, a lot of these brothers, they try to say, oh, because you beat Tant with one dog, that got something to do with the mass of yellow dogs that's across the country that this man put out here. You know, it don't matter if Tant lost. You know, he might be lost that you could have beat Tant in that battle, but Tant won the war when it came to that particular situation. You know, for any brother that want to say or say anything outside of the stuff that Tant did that we got from his yard man, see, we don't care about what he did with that other stuff, because a lot of these folk got stuff that, you know, skeletons in their closet. You know, Tant just not here to speak about a lot of stuff. So it's easy to make a person seem a certain way when he ain't here to respond back. Now, I'll be the one to say that because I gave you the most videos when it comes to Tant, when it comes to most stuff with factual information in it. Now, brother Nichols say Fat Bill said Tant never beat him, but the thing is, Tant dogs beat Fat Bill dogs in the game in general. You know, Fat Bill dogs don't stand on the same platform with David Tant dogs. I'm just gonna be honest with you, and this has no hate to do with brother Fat Bill. Their dogs are on two different levels. It don't matter if he beat David Tant on a bad day. Fat Bill did not produce the type of dogs that David Tant brought to the game. You know what I'm saying? It's just plain out and simple. Say it how you want to say it. Feel how you want to feel. It's the truth. Eli Monster, what's going on? Salute to everybody. Samurai Kennel in the building, representing, holding it down, my brothers. You know what I'm saying? Fat Bill had great dogs, man. But at the end of the day, when it comes to, you know, comparing him and another brother from his era, David Tant, you know, only beef them brothers got with each other is because of that personal shit they got going on. If they take all that emotion, the human emotion out of it, Fat Bill can't hold a candle the same way I say about Mayday. Fat Bill can't hold a candle to yellow piss when it comes to the dogs that he produced in this damn game. Man, listen here, Fat Bill don't deserve to be in the conversation of yellow production. Now he could be in the conversation of David Tant. I beat him. Yeah, the same way I can't be in the conversation of the brothers who produce Big John dogs. No, I can't. But when we talk about a whole nother subject, I can be in that conversation. You know what I'm saying? I can't be in the brothers who produce that Big John stuff conversation when they talk about breeding right now, because I have yet to show and prove. Fat Bill have yet to show and prove. He one of the old school brothers I'm talking about that have yet to show and prove a family of dogs that consistently take the test of freaking time without getting emotional about it. Just tell the truth about it. We all been in trouble. We all sold dogs. We all got rid of dogs, got in, got out, got in, got out. But when it come to David Tant, Fat Bill ain't shit fucking with David Tant. I'm gonna tell you that shit now. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get, when it comes to breeding, get my dogs out there. I'm trying to get my dogs known for the right things. And that's another thing to the brother that say a lot of these brothers only known for YouTube. Yeah, we known for the right things. Y'all brothers was known for the 90s for the wrong things. That's why you can't open it and you're scared to talk now. You know what I'm saying? We known for the right things out here with these same dogs. You know, and at the end of the day, like I said, because we remained unknown for so long is the reason, you know, a lot of these brothers didn't end up in the situations a lot of y'all old schoolers did. You know, a lot of y'all old schoolers, you met your famous dog brothers, and you were scared to go into them. A lot of y'all bought dogs from big kennels just to go back into the hood brothers. You never searched for nobody who had real knowledge on bulldogging. A lot of brothers say it was a competition you went into, and that's a damn correct statement. It was a competition you went to, and I'm gonna say this, and I know this for a fact, and I'm gonna say this: I don't want no brothers up here bragging about having a dog career if you did it with stolen dogs. I don't want no brother to get up here bragging about beating those stolen dogs. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I ain't beat no stolen dogs, and I ain't used no stolen dogs to do my dog career. From the time I was a young teenager, I had in my head and my heart to spend my hard-earned cash on a dog if I want them. You know what I'm saying? And it just is what it is, man. It is what it is. Some of these brothers, they 50, they 60 years old. And they still ain't crossed that threshold of spending more than $500 for a dog. Man, listen, bro. I remember when I was 19, fam, and I went to some of my black brothers' yards. I'm going to say that so you can understand that I'm speaking to hope the shoe fits type shit right now. I went to certain brothers' yard, my folk. Listen here, man. This post yellow, I'm knee deep in that yellow stuff. And I went to brother's yard, man. It don't take me nothing but 5 minutes to tell your whole yard is whack as fuck, yo. I ain't gonna lie to you. I can look at that whole yard in 5 minutes, man. These ain't the kind of dogs I'm trying to get, fam. It don't matter about red nose. It don't matter about no buckskin, black mask, no black brindle, none of that type of stuff. Color don't matter. It's about performance. And if you're a real bulldog, you got an eye for that shit. You can spot good dogs when you see them. You can spot bullshit dogs when you see them. You know what I'm saying? And I walked on some of these brothers' yards who try to shit me with these dogs. Oh, they Eli this, they that. Man, listen, man, I ain't going back to my hood with this shit. You know what I'm saying? I know what it takes to win. And when I say hood, I just mean in my circle. You know what I'm saying? Because some brothers will get it twisted and think I mean hood by saying hood folk. I mean my circle. It didn't take me 5 minutes to understand. These ain't my quality of dogs, man. These boys got me spoiled. I want real bulldogs. You know what I'm saying? Listen here. And like I said, I feel like Bo was one of my best dogs I ever had. But I'll be stupid to say the laws, the way society is right now, don't play a part on all that stuff. You know? Why you think when I was 19, I had one of the best dogs I had? 19, hint, 19, willing to do any damn thing, willing to stretch that limit. You know, not the same thing you're willing to do when you're 35, when you're 40, when you're 50. No matter if the laws change, you're still not willing to do the same stuff. You know, and we overlook them laws more than what they supposed to be, man. Them laws play a big part. You know, it play a big part. I'm just trying to figure out when it comes to, and like I said, the game that's lying dormant in dogs. You know, when is it to the point of no return? You know, when is your dog to the point of no return when it comes to breeding dogs that you don't test, right? Dogs that you don't test, but you breeding because you think so and so, whatever. Oh, all right, you breeding them. When do you get to the point of no return? Only way you get to the point of no return is when you start breeding dogs that aren't game into these dogs. When you breeding lack of gameness dogs into that dog. Now, I agree. I definitely agree that some traits do lie dormant in dogs. And I'm going to say it like this. If gameness is a trait that can lie dormant in dogs, it's a trait that'll never lie dormant in most dogs, because most dogs are always triggered off somewhere or another throughout their life, to use their inner tuition to try to get something. Brother Dante Hamilton might walk up with his Belgian Malinois or his Eli or his Red Boy Jocko dogs, and then my dog's over here souped up. So let me ask any brother a question. Can the genetics tell a dog is on the chain, that he's so mad that he's on the chain, he's slobbering from the mouth, he's foaming from the mouth on the chain, he's mad, he wants to get this dog that's in front of him? Can his genetics tell that? Can his genetics tell that he hasn't made contact? How can these dormant? How can these traits lay dormant? Like I said, every dog, especially ones that like Red Boy that never rolled, maybe got one little roll in, and they never rolled them no more. What about Bailey's Bingo? Was Bailey's Bingo a winner? Please tell me Bailey's Bingo was a winner. Somebody in the chat tell me Bailey's Bingo was a winner. So let's go 2 dogs. Red Boy lived a long career, didn't do no more than 1 roll, maybe 2. Bingo, he ain't no champion. And I'm quite sure there's a whole bunch of Red Boy dogs coming down off Bingo. That's notable dogs that ain't been touched a day in their damn life, but we still breeding off that Red Boy stuff. Let's see, man. Some of y'all give me some of them Bingo names, some of them Bingo offspring names, of them Bingo puppies that ain't been touched before. Bailey's Bingo Red Boy. What about Hunter Red and these dogs? When do these traits go dormant? And like I said, man, every brother got to realize that this dog stuff is only opinions when it comes to everybody dog talk, man. It's no need to, some stuff be facts, but for the most part, this stuff is opinionated, man. I'm not a scientist. I don't know that the traits actually don't lay dormant in a dog like that when it comes to that. But I'm giving you my, just an educational guess. You know what I'm saying? And just common sense. The dog goes through too much stuff. Okay, Bailey a one-time winner. Bingo's a one-time winner. Okay, that's the question I got, Brother Trevor. In order for, it's a mind thing. It's a mind thing to the dog owner, man. It don't have nothing to do with the dogs. So let me ask any brother this, right? So, okay, if Mr. Chavis would have never rolled Yellow John, but he got Yellow John, right? Yellow John a champion, right? If he would have never rolled Yellow John, you don't think Yellow John would have still produced yellow? Now, say Mr. Tant would have never rolled Yellow. You don't tell me Yellow would have still produced Mayday? Now, say Victor never rolled Mayday at all. You telling me Mayday still would have produced Barracuda? Oh, now come on now. Now, if the brother wouldn't have rolled Barracuda at all, now I don't know all Barracuda offspring, you know what I'm saying? But it's just like that, man. You can't tell me them dogs right there wouldn't have produced the same dogs if they wouldn't have been grand champions. It's only in your mind because you know the dog a 5-timer, a 3-timer, a 2-timer, a 1-timer, Bobby Stapleton say, why we talking about red dogs? We ain't talking about red dogs, Bobby Stapleton. We talking about game dogs, and we talking about, does the gameness trait ever go dormant in your dog? You know, if you don't know what I'm talking about, can your dog lose the gameness trait without breeding to a less game dog? Brother Ken Lightning said a cur can be a great producer, but how consistent will it produce great dogs? Now, this is the thing, Ken Lightning. Big salute to you. Appreciate you rocking with us tonight. This is the thing. The statement that you said first is going to contradict the statement that you said second. See, you can't call him a great producer if he ain't producing great dogs consistently. A great producer must produce great dogs consistently. He can't have one good litter and you say he a great producer. I don't mean like, and this, let me take this back. I don't mean like you only bred your dog 1 or 2 times and you saying he a great producer off that one litter. I'm not saying that, at all. But what I'm saying is, say if you got 20 litters off this dog, you know what I mean. Now, like I said, I believe you can lose gameness by not checking the dogs. I believe that. Not checking don't mean nothing illegal. Folk out there, tree huggers out there, it don't mean nothing illegal. It means just taking your dog out there to see if he's game enough to compete in whatever activity you put them in. I believe that you can lose gameness by not seeing which dogs are the gamer dogs. Well, I just don't think your quality goes up. I don't think your genetic quality goes up because of you touching your dogs back in them days. And this is a thing when it comes to them old dogs, man. A lot of them old school traits, even when it comes to Grand Champion Yellow, a lot of them traits trickle away, man, over the years. When you're doing best of the best breeding, you lose color, you lose a certain structure that you may have had when Grand Champion Yellow was around, because the best may not always be the color that you prefer. The best may not always be the best shaped dog of that litter or the best shaped dog, around you. So when you're breeding best to the best, it's always a chance you can lose certain things from the old dogs. Even when you do a line breeding and inbreeding and stuff. I'm using my dogs, Mellow Yellow, them, as examples. Yeah, they pure Big John, Little John dogs coming pure Red Boy Jocko dogs. But at the end of the day, the dogs that it started with, we got different looks somewhat than the dogs that we got now. And it's the same, but any real dog, man, you know what I'm talking about. You lose certain colors, certain attributes, and then sometimes, even now, when you chase looks, you lose performance. I can chase structure, I can chase color, I can chase looks all day long. Now I'm depriving myself of performance and good working dogs. I feel like, How many times have we not liked somebody dogs because what we don't see? We want to see everything. We want to know everything about these dogs. You know, like I said, man, get you a family of dogs and work with it and learn that thing, man. And like I said, stop getting on Facebook, YouTube and all this stuff and directing these brothers, because the wrong direction because of human emotion. You know what I'm saying? When you know David Tant, you know what I'm saying, was pumping them dogs out. And see, that book, if it wasn't for that magazine that brother was putting out, how many of y'all old schoolers would have been known right now? You better ever come talking trash to these YouTube brothers out here. If it wasn't for Mr. Kelly and that Sport Dog Journal, none of y'all would have been known. Besides the brothers in your city. And a few brothers that branched out here and there. You would have been known to them brothers. You would have been known to nobody else. So don't talk and act bad because you was in a magazine in the 90s. We doing that thing in modern day time. We got the pen now, brothers. I tell you, man, it's a different era. And a lot of these brothers, including myself, I had some curves throughout my days. But I like to win. I don't like to get trash talk to me. I like to be on the receiving end. I got a couple more topics I want to touch up on, man. Now, when it comes to dogs, see, nobody got a yard full of unbeatable dogs. I mean, like the brother say, that's pretty much impossible. But you got brothers who got dogs who are unbeatable. Yeah, Mr. Jack Kelly made a lot of them famous. And they get up here and try to hold their nuts on us. YouTube, you wouldn't be known. Like I said, if it weren't for YouTube, a lot of y'all would have went to y'all grave unknown. For anybody that get up here and say David Tant wasn't an enterprise, David Tant wasn't a conglomerate, David Tant wasn't the shit in the dogs in his era, you's a damn hater. Or either you wasn't there, like Ice Cube say, they don't know, or they just don't show. They don't care what's going on in the hood. Listen here, man, and I'm gonna explain it to you like this. How long ago since David Tant got out the game? Fat Bill dogs ain't caught up yet. How long that been since David Tant bred a dog? Fat Bill dogs ain't caught up yet. And like I said, brothers get it twisted, man. One dog getting beat don't got nothing to do with this dog being the number one breeder. Yes, sir, man. I mean, Ted probably was a millionaire with one dog. I'm quite sure whether he had it when he got in trouble or not, I'm quite sure that he made over $1 million off that one dog. And we talking about back then. You wouldn't consider that an enterprise? or conglomerate. A lot of people wouldn't when you keeping human emotion involved. Hey, Bobby Stapleton, I feel you, dog, but you got to remember we done dealt with you already in this situation. You do a lot of talking, but you don't come up here. You do a lot of texting, but you don't come up here and talk. You got to come up here and talk about some of that dog stuff. You know, we believe you, but you act like we don't believe you. We believe you, brother. You know, and like I said, if you ever decide to come up here, your stories is just as welcome as everybody else. Nobody ain't gonna down you for your stories. Tant was a scam. I'm gonna say that Tant was a scam at times, but you can't. Nobody can take away from Tant what he did for the dog game. You know, the same ones that ran up on Tant, and same ones that try and beat Tant and certain dogs, they could have went on Mayday. They could have went on, different dogs. Hey, Bobby, man, that type of talk that you do, we pass all that shit, dog. See, you must be staying out the chat too long, fam. You been staying out the chat too long. You know, we try to advance the stuff we talk about. You on that back and forth stuff without wanting to get up here and talk, man. We ain't following that stuff up. Like I told brothers about the brothers on Facebook groups. I'm out a lot of them groups. A lot of these brothers be talking, they ain't never touched a real bulldog and don't got no bulldogs. Period. So we only respect what we can see and hear talking, man. You know what I'm saying? All that other stuff, when you want to impress me, get up here and talk about it. You know what I'm saying? When you take something, you just got to take it how I take it. And don't get mad when a brother, say something about it. A lot of brothers never had a David Tant dog. You know? Oh, yeah. Most people that hate the yellow dogs probably never seen them in the box, probably never went against one, or either they did win against one. And that's the problem why they don't like them, because they never could beat one. And then the thing about it, them yellow dogs ain't unbeatable, or wasn't unbeatable, rather. They wasn't unbeatable. You can beat one. But we just talking about the percentages. And we talking about the type of, whatever your style of dog that you like. Some people just never like the yellow dog, and they just never gonna like the yellow dog. That don't mean they was losers. That don't mean they stock was losing. It just mean they didn't run the yellow stuff. Now, Street Ross, you asked me something about the PVC earlier. I let that slip. Let me see what you're talking about that PVC. You said working with the PVC, what size is it? Looking into investing in it. 14 month pro. All right. That PVC, it really ain't gonna go towards the weight of your dogs, man, and the dogs you're dealing with. And the PVC is strong. You see, you don't need a real big one. You can use a thin one. A thin one gonna be good, for flirt polling wise. I had a thin one before as well. I had a few different size ones. I just end up with this last one that's a little bit bigger, and I never went and got another one. But if I go buy another one right now, I wouldn't buy that big one like you see me with. I'll buy a smaller one because, I'm not trying to work out. It give me a little workout when I use it. Brother Trevor Lady say, David Tant had 3 grand champions and 8 champions. out of 120 dogs. All right, that's 11 champions, 11 champion dogs out of 120. 10% of the dog, that's like you said, 10% of the dogs that he had, that he owned, were titled dogs. 10% of the dogs that he owned were titled dogs. Okay. Now, think about everybody else who had dogs off of Yellow that were titled dogs. 10%, even if that's wrong or even if that's right, 11 out of 100, 120 dogs, a little under 10% titled dogs. Now, see, Bobby Stapleton, that's where I differ from you at. I disagree with you at. Tant dogs these days, Mayday dogs. You right, but that's not the only David Tant dog. Tant got a few strain of dogs out here. Brother just sent me that Toro stuff the other day. You know what I'm saying? The champion Toro stuff. You got different strains of that yellow stuff out here that's not going to Mayday. Coming off Tant, the Matt dog. I see a lot of brothers with the Matt dog, Tant's Matt and their stuff. You got a few Tant dogs out there. Hey, brother Fry say, how many of them 122 is 1 and 2 time winners? Hey, that's a good question. That take the percentages up high. Hey, Street Rossi, when it comes to that PVC pipe, the lengthwise, you at least want it long enough where you can you can hold that pipe out and the dog can get a good sprint off of it. You don't want to have to run with the dog every time you hold the pipe out. You're going to be tired as well. You want it long enough to where you can hold it out and that dog can get a good run without you even moving. You know what I'm saying? If you got it kind of short, that means you got to run around the yard or run around the place where you got the dog trying to flirt pole just to get the dog to exercise good. But if you got a good long one, and it can stretch out a good piece, then you can stand in one spot and you can pretty much be like a cat meal, like a human cat meal. You can just go in circles, make the dog chasing that shit if it's long enough, The one I work Mellow Yellow with, I don't know those size, like as far as the inches wise, 1 inch, 2 inch, or 3 inches. I just know it's the big joint, the one I got. But I've seen one that Samurai got that he was working with. I prefer that size, like Samurai got. If I ain't mistaken, it's it looked like a thinner version of it. I like that size right there. It's perfect because you can swing it around like you want to, man. It's no work. You don't want to have to work your dog and you get tired before your dog getting damn tired. You know what I'm saying? It come down to a real key. Me put my dog in a confirmation show. I'm gonna get something that's gonna make working easier for me. You know what I'm saying? I like that big flirt pole because I can use it as a spring pole as well. That's the benefits of that big thick one because I can use it as a spring pole. Yeah, man. I got a few more things to touch on, you know what I'm saying? When it comes to these bulldogs. It's just the point, man. How many people would consider like I said earlier, how many people would consider Mayday a BS dog today if you got him as a puppy? Oh man, this dog ain't starting up early enough. Oh, this dog ain't doing this. Oh, this. Come on, man. Man, like I said, when it comes to David Tant, that's why I started the video off like that. I said, you know, when it comes to him, he did a lot of crooked stuff. But you can't take what the man did away from him when it comes to them dogs. You know, and like I said, they ain't no average dogs. Shit, they shit you. Whoever told you that, they shitting you. You know, them ain't average dogs. There is a such thing as over average dogs. And there is a such thing as dogs that produce, have a litter of 10 puppies and have a high amount of great working dogs. Everybody dog don't throw one good game dog off of every litter. You know, and we can't sit here and try to act there and teach these brothers, oh man, you ain't gonna get one good dog off a litter. How about the brothers who got puppies that's eating each other? Or where that come from? That don't come from a dog being hungry. It's just different kind of dogs, man. Different kind of dogs. And like I said, there's levels to this shit. Not to the dog game, to the dogs. You want to go out cheap? You want to go out cheap? You get the same thing you get in real life, regular life, when you go out cheap with any dang old thing. You get what you pay for. Oh, and brother say, oh, you get a great bulldog where you find it. You get what you pay for. Oh, I can go to Mr. Chavis' yard. Mr. Chavis can say, oh, I want $1,200 for Jocko. I can say, oh man, that's too high. That's too high. I ain't paying that. I go buy me old 250 pit. You get what you pay for. I wish my homeboy would have got that dang on Jethro though. My homeboy's 2 seconds away from getting Jethro. And I'd had that story to talk about too. If he would have got Jethro, I'd have had that story to talk about. My homeboy's 2 minutes from getting him. That'd have been another one, but I can't talk about it because it ain't never happened. And I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I really enjoyed myself at Summerrise show this morning. I laid back and I just chill. I don't do that normally with no dog channels. It's a reason I don't do it. I don't do it because I don't want to get up here and talk about the content. I want to keep my shit fresh of what I got going on. I don't want to continue off what the next man talking about, you know, and that's what that makes you do. You know what I'm saying? And it's not like saying, oh, I don't support. I support everybody, but I hate that shit, man. You know, no matter what you do, you can say, I'm not a copycat. I'm not gonna talk about this. Once you hear something and it's in your head, then you know you don't gotta respond to it. But if it's some type of dog talk that you want to keep the conversation going, it's hard not to keep a conversation going. You know, hey Bobby Stapleton, man, you need to come up here and give us a story, man. You talk like you know a lot of good brothers and a lot of good stories, man. You need to come on up here and give us some of that dog talk. Don't come up here tonight because you know we done off in this thing. I mean, you can come up here tonight if you want to, but now give me a fresh show. You know what I'm saying? Give you a fresh show if you want to do something. But you seem to know a lot of people, man. You need to drop a gem on some of these brothers out here. Let us hear what it is. Mad Doctor say weight pulling, early morning on the railroad tracks, cool down at noon, flirt pole 1 hour with weights. Cool down, spring pole, last late night walking, or biking 4 hours. It's the way he used to train. Yes, sir, man. Now, I ain't gonna lie. Back when I had Bo, the last thing I would do was my flirt pulling and weight pulling. It's because I always found myself out about, like I said, it'd be dark, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night, 11. And I get out there and flirt pole for a good hour. Put my headphones on, flirt pole with some weights on, flirt pole in the sand, and let them pull them weights in the sand. Listen to my music. Boom, boom, boom. You know, I always did countdowns with my dog. You know what I'm saying? Hold my dog between the legs while I'm flirt poling them. I throw the flirt pole way on the other side of the yard and hold my dog. I turn him around like he was in the box and I hold him and I count. Now, this is back in the days. I'm not talking about now. Back in the days, I'll turn around and I'll count. And all I was doing was just giving them repetitions of hearing that 1, 2, 3, 4, letting them. It's all a game to them. It's all a game. It was all training back then. You know what I'm saying? I let them stretch 30 times to that flirt pole. When I say stretch, I mean he got weights on him that I can outrun. So I let him go. Boom. After that, count the sword, and I let him go. Release your dog. I let him go. He stretched. I beat him to the flirt pole. I do the same thing again. You know, same thing again. And the same thing I told brothers back in the days, what we used to do, what we call muzzling the dog. We put muzzles on both dogs, let them scratch. All we did was let them scratch 30 times a piece. They ain't doing nothing but wrestling. You know what I'm saying? Soon as they hit, they gonna hit, they gonna wrestle like 2 seconds, you pick them up, take them to the corner, do your countdown. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, turning them around and all that, you know, face them, and same thing, release them. Let them do that 50 times. You know, not one scratch on him when he done. He cut body fat. It helps him kill the stomach fat, you know, because of the fact that if you just look at what the dog is doing, he's trying to get loose. He's growling, he's doing everything, but he can't completely open his mouth, you know, so it's making him work his stomach muscles, you know, and at the same time, it's training him to scratch. Now, like I said, back then, that was the stuff that I did back then when I was a teenager. Not that no more. I'm a man now, do manly things, you know. But yeah, man, street racing, man, that flirt pole is just gonna matter what size dogs you got, what you trying to do. Are your dogs gonna be putting a lot of weight on the flirt pole? If your dog's not gonna be putting no weight on the flirt pole at all, street racing, no real weight, then you can get the skinny ones, man. You know, make sure they're kind of flexible, but strong enough to stand straight when you hold it out. You don't want something that bent over like a dang old fishing pole. I'm talking about bent all the way over. It's gonna have some flexibility in it, but you want something kind of sturdy. Heck yeah, man. And then to see, I ain't gonna lie, you know, the distance that I was doing the flirt poling with the weights, it was probably about 30 feet, maybe at the most. But like I said, he been in the sand and he just going back and forth, just getting a good strong sprint off. And then I'm checking my numbers. Hey, but I do want to respond to this before I get up out of here. I ain't going yet. I want to respond to this. Hey, man, some of the boys talk about some stuff this morning now. That call out thing, I like that. Call a brother out if you want that smoke. All right, now this one thing I will say: if I call anybody out, I got a stipulation in my call out. If anybody call me out, I got one stipulation. If you call me out, all I say is when we start this 8-week keep, we calling weights out. I don't care what your dog weigh. you're gonna call that dog weight before you start that 8-week keep. So if you say that dog, and you're gonna show us with that dog, show us you with that dog. You know what I'm saying? That way you can't be getting no pictures shipped to you. You know, you will get somebody to ship you a picture or get somebody to work your dog for you. Well, that's cool if you want to get somebody else, but long as you show us that's your dog. But the thing is, show us that you can control this weight with this dog. Okay, if your dog 40-some pounds and 8 weeks, he gonna be this much. You know, they ain't gotta be the same weight, but you just gotta be on your weight at the end of that 8 weeks. It just makes the competition a little more interesting. You know what I'm saying? If I start the 8-week keep and I say I'm gonna be 49.5 pounds, then in 8 weeks I need to be 40, 49.5. And this is the thing about it. Whoever is closest to their right weight is the one who, not necessarily the one who win, but the person who, you know, actually could control the weight the best. You know, but I'm with that type of stuff, man. Good old fun when it comes to these dogs. You know, 8-week keep, set it up. Hey, Fat Bill, what you want to do? Ain't no thing to me. Hey, I don't want the yard man. I want the head man. Hey, bring some of them Bolero dogs out. Let me see if you can work them things like them Big John dogs. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna show you what Pelican Bay do on a call out. The boys say they call out. I'm gonna show you what it do. Holla at me. I'm gonna show you what it do when you do a show and you work a dog and you do all that other stuff in the side. And we're gonna have some good old fun competition, man. I ain't want to brag about being a has-been. I want to show you what I can do today. Hey, I might make a little video on that shit. What it took for me to get to that level. You know, a good documentary or something. Any of them boys, any of y'all brothers that talk trash to me, I call y'all out right now. Bring y'all dog to the table. You know, bring your dog to the table, holla at Samurai, and set it up. You know, and I'll bring Fletch out. I got other dogs that you ain't never seen before. I will bring out, and I'll show you these dogs with me every day when it's necessary. And guess what? Just like we did in the box back in the day, hey, you beat me in that competition. Walk across that YouTube platform and shake your hand. It ain't no big deal. You come back and you go again. I tell you what, I got your ass next time. You know, man, keep the emotions from the dog game. Let's let the dog do the talking. That was a great idea them brothers had today. Call out. Don't get drunk up and call out, brothers. Do it sober, man. I'll take some of Fat Bill ass. And I take him on, I want Fat Bill on the weight. He got to call the weight with me. I'll take some of Mike Dan. Great brother. I'll take some of Mike Dan. Call the weight. And to anybody, any tree hugger listening, we talking about legal shit. We talking about getting these dogs looking in tip-top shape. That's what we talking about. You know, we ain't talking about nothing else. Them boys, we ain't talking about like them ignorant boys on Facebook. What weight you is? When we talk about what weight, we talking about legal stuff, legitimate stuff that brothers can compete in and have fun and feel like you're back in the days, even though we ain't back in the days, without crossing that line. You know what I'm saying? I don't do the pause game because you know why? Hey, Patrick Peters, the only reason I don't do the pause game because you know it really ain't around here like that. You know, when I say it, you know, I ain't on no that type of stuff. That Rainbow Committee stuff. You know, that shit never in my head. I don't even think Rainbow Committee when I say certain topics or certain talk. You know, that's just the way some brothers gonna always be out here. You know, we just no Diddy and pause and all that. Like, you know, some of them brothers say pause every 2 minutes. It ain't that much pausing in the world. Now my mind ain't even thinking about that shit. You know what I'm saying? But big salute to you, Patrick Peterson, man. Big salute to you, fam. Yes, sir, man. Like I said, I really enjoy that show. I saw that. A lot of y'all boys need to go watch that show, Summer I Drop, man. Go back and watch that show, man. You know, great show, man. And brothers had a lot of great topics, you know, and talked about a lot of great stuff. You know, salute to all the brothers that was in that chat, all the brothers that's in my chat. You know, you should be able to have a disagreement with somebody without somebody thinking you arguing with them or you battling with them or all that type of stuff, or you trying to disrespect them. You know what I'm saying? And all it is a disagreement or giving my opinion about certain things. Now, the call out wise, I heard what the boy said and I heard it clear. I take that smoke. There's a lot of the boys that want that, they talk that shit to me. I'll take that smoke with any of them right now. Aubrey Harris, I'll take the smoke with you. Put $1 on it and condition a dog. Call it, wait out and condition a dog in 8 weeks. Put $1 on it. Whatever amount you want to put on it, we'll condition them. You know, and let the folk be the judge of how the dog look. Money is money at the end of the day. You know, let's put the dogs to let the dogs do the talking. Y'all boys want to see my yard? Call me out so I can go have to get some other dogs. Show you what them yellow dogs do, man. You know, we ain't gonna never, we from that side of town, we don't hesitate to show you what them yellow dogs gonna do, dog. We like you to keep that Eli stuff. That shit keep plenty bread in my pocket. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna try to convince you to keep that shit. Yo, keep that. That's gonna keep me paid. You know what I'm saying? Hey, it just is what it is. Oh my, oh hey yo, man. Hey, I got my folk in here tonight. Hey, show no. My man in here tonight, man. Mother effing Supreme Excellence one. Salute to you, Supreme, man. What's going on with you? What's going on with you? Supreme, man. I don't know who want the smoke, but I heard some of them talking about it this morning for us. A call out. Anybody there, and they'll do the call out during the dog shows and all that type of stuff throughout the year. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, you know, you can put me on the card. I can be on the boxing card, or I can be on the main event. But I'll take some of Fat Bill ass. You know what I'm saying? Hey, and guess what? I got respect for Fat Bill, man, as a dog man. That's why I don't understand what a lot of these brothers, you know, y'all get too emotional with shit, man. Let the dogs, let's just have some fun, man. Y'all boys want to fight and all kind of shit, man. I don't be knowing, man. Dang, y'all need to smoke some better weed or something. Dang. Yes, sir, man. And believe me, man, and the same way I say, I don't got the best dog. I know I don't got the best dog. As long as I keep that in my head. And when I say that, I don't mean my dog not coming out here to be the best dog. You see, I'm going to bring my dog to be the best dog that day. No matter what event I'm coming to compete to, you know. But we always got to know, man, it's always something that might be a little step ahead of you. You may never see it. You know what I'm saying? You may never see it. The brothers from Russia might be bragging about it. The brothers from another side might be bragging about it. You know, but it's always something better. Or potentials to be better. You know, I want to send a big thank you, man, to everybody that bought a copy of the book from me, that's still buying it. Like I said, this, you know, just trying to do my thing, man. I appreciate everybody. Like I said, for anybody who got questions, hit me up and ask me anything. You know, I said on Facebook this morning that I'll probably be training at least one dog sometime soon. At least taking in one dog for training. Like I said, if you're interested, holler at me. I'm not trying to train no super aggressive dog that I gotta try to break out of some other stuff. You know, regular obedience, man. I'm not doing no protection, regular obedience training. You know, I'm not gonna you know, put myself in a situation that's gonna be too much for me to handle, you know, with what I got going on. You know, and me training a protection dog right now with what I got going on is gonna be kind of pushing it. You know what I'm saying? I can do the obedience, you know, but I can't do the protection because a lot of that protection stuff takes more than one person. I can do protection training if you're gonna pay me, and I'm just gonna stop everything and train your dog, you know. But you're gonna pay what real protection training costs to get paid. You know, you're gonna pay that, and it ain't gonna be no friend discounts, no none of that. The worst thing, I'm gonna let any brother know this. The worst thing you want with a dog that you sent to somebody to train is for them to feel like you didn't pay them enough and you trying to screw them over while they got your dog. You do not want them to feel like they're not getting looked out for. You know what I'm saying? And the reason I do payment up front with my dog training, I'm gonna tell you exactly why. You know, I ain't training your dog to say, oh, now I can't get paid. You got to pay this bill. Oh, you got to pay the house bill, or you got to pay the car payment. You try to, oh, you know, I need my money up front. You know what I'm saying? The dog gonna be right when you get the dog. But if you want that dog right, it just gotta be that way, man. You know, I done seen it before. You know, you train a dog and you get them right, and then what a brother say? The first thing y'all brothers down in the chat tell me, man, Hirsch, man, keep the dog, man, keep the dog. Man, Supreme, man, fam, we don't want them dogs. I just want to train it. You know, I don't want to keep them. You know what I'm saying? Hey, it's like, you know, it's kind of useless to me. Yeah, he's a good dog and he's trained, but man, I gotta feed him. I gotta take care of him. The dog is useless to me, and he's just taking money. You know, so I get my money up front. You know what I'm saying? I work deals with people, if you know, because I'm not hard to work with. You know, but I'm not gonna screw myself over because I done been out there working in the sun, and you know, I know, you know, you need to be honest on both ends. I got to be honest on my end and honest on the other person's end. I done had people that want me to train dogs, and they knew they weren't gonna try to pay me. You know, folk, let me explain something to you. If I never snapped in my damn life, you know, make me work these dogs, you know, 2 or 3 months and then don't pay me. I'm gonna plead temporary insanity in court for whatever I had to do. You know what I'm saying? Or I can take it to the courts. What can I get from a brother if he don't got no money in the courts? So to keep from going through all that, just give me my money up front. You know, and then if I don't train your dog, you can sue me, or you know what I'm saying, or something like that. You know, but yeah, man. And like I said on my post that I made this morning, you know, dog talk. You know what I'm saying? If you want to do some dog talk and just politic about certain things, you know, I work some interviews. I work some. You want me to show up somewhere? I work some. You know, and the thing about it, you know, just for example, just say example, if somebody wanted me to show up to an event, you don't think I'm gonna promote that event? You know, you don't think I'm gonna do what it takes for me to do on my end to make the event do the damn thing on my end from my folk? You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna do my half. I'm gonna bring what it takes. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna tell you to pay me some money that we ain't gonna make no money. You know, like I said, it just is what it is, man. I can't help what the next man value himself at. I gotta do me. You know what I'm saying? And everybody else gotta do them. Shit, end of the day, man. I'm gonna catch back up because I lost track of them digital dog shows, man. The last one I lost track. I was just talking away during that January month, and when brother was having it. So I got to get back on track, man, and see what's going on and who the winners and all that type of good stuff. You know, it's Supreme say the dog show is in May, so it's March now. That's a good 8 weeks away. You know, a good enough time to get your dog right. Now, Brother Supreme says it's like 500 in the pot so far. You know, but I believe you talking about the actual digital dog show itself, right? You ain't talking about the call out part. You talk about the dog show itself. And I can't understand, man, why I just can't understand why brothers just that shit is not the biggest shit going on right now. You know, being able to get bragging rights on a brother without leaving your house. Hey man, that's what it's about, ain't it? Being able to talk shit about your dog. Oh man, my dog kicked Patrick Peterson dog ass. You know, in legal stuff, Pat. In legal stuff, brother. You know what I'm saying? Pat dog couldn't outrun my dog. He ain't look good enough. Hey Pat, man, you came, but you wasn't hitting on me that day. That day I had the better dog. Bragging rights, dog. You know, listen. When I brag about that Big John situation where Sambo got the Big John dog, got the best of him that day, it don't matter how much money I would have won that day. It wasn't as valuable as that bragging right. That's why I tell brothers that we could have ruined for $50,000. That $50,000 has been so far from gone right now. So far from gone. But that bragging right lasts forever until that person leaves. You know what I'm saying? Until he can't breathe no more. Oh man, I remember I got Supreme in that dog show, that digital dog show. I remember I got the best of them. That bragging right, 30 years from now, if I meet you somewhere, Supreme, and you get me in that digital, or you were showing up in the boys, get me in the digital dog show, and I meet y'all somewhere 30 years from now, you know, somewhere. Hey, PD boy, you remember back in 2025, I bust your ass? Boy, I bust your ass back in 25, boy. You know, bragging rights, dog. You know what I'm saying? That shit more valuable than money. Sometimes when we talk about these bulldogs, you know, we know it ain't more valuable than money, you know, but we just talk about like bulldog talk. Shoot, man. Hey, look, if Fat Bill can brag about beating Tant, that's more valuable than the money that he won in that match. The bragging rights. We don't know how much Jeep beat Homer for. It's the bragging rights. Name one of them dogs that we talk about from back in the days. We don't talk about their purse that was on that dog. We don't say Mayday, you know, this or that or this. We talk about the dog. We don't talk about how much money he won. Yeah. Sambo was mostly Jeep dog. Jeep Red Boy Jocko, but he had more Jeep in him because his daddy was Fatty. Okay, Fatty mama was Jaguar. Jaguar was the pure Jeep dog, right? Top bottom. When I say pure, I mean fucking pure. Motherfucker, damn everything in the pedigree, damn say Jeep. Okay, we got that straight. Jaguar, the pure Jeep dog, bred to one of Grand Champion Yellow's sons. That made Sambo daddy. Okay, now they took that male dog, which was Fatty, and bred him back to his half sister. Same mama, different daddies. Same Jeep mama, but a red boy daddy. You know, so we got the same Jeep mama on both sides, you know, when it comes to Sambo. And then we got his mama got a red boy daddy, and his daddy got the red boy Jocko, which is yellow. But that was a hellified Jeep Red Boy Jocko cross, man. That's why I think that Jeep Red Boy Jocko did good back in them days together, and I think it still do good together. The Jeep, the Red Boy Jocko stuff. I think the Red Boy Jocko and some of that Garner and Eli stuff do good too. And I'm talking modern day times. I think that stuff do real good modern day times. One thing Garner dogs got is they got a lot of good build to them. A lot of Garner dogs got that physique from hell, and they game dogs. You can't take nothing from them. So when you make these crosses, sometimes Garner dogs bred so tight, and then you take a lot of these Red Boy Jocko dogs, they bred tight, and then you mix that together sometime, and you get a nice blend of dog. A lot of the times, really. I think if I take a Mr. Boudreaux dog right now, one of my partners was trying to ship me a Boudreaux dog, and I was bullshitting. But if I take a Boudreaux dog, I feel like if I take a Boudreaux dog that's pure Boudreaux, also some of his great stuff, and I bring it back to, say, the Big John stuff, that's straight tight of that stuff, I believe I'll get a better working quality dog than I would going to another strain of Red Boy Jocko into my Big John stuff. I just think that splash of genetics will make a better quality dog. One brother was asking me some of the traits of the yellow dogs that I know of, and I can say the traits switch up over the years, but from back in the days, what I was used to was some of the yellow dogs were lay down dogs, slow pushing dogs, slow driving, but they still drive all day long. Back end dogs, and a lot of brothers say that come from Jocko. But yeah, man, and when I give brothers props or something like that, it ain't got to, I'm not trying to do that to kiss ass or nothing like that, man. I really like these videos when I look at certain videos, man. And I just, I know myself. I know I like to, listen to stuff, and if I disagree with it, I like to comment on it. And sometimes I just don't want to do that, We 2 hours in that thing tonight, man. 2 hours in that thing tonight. And like I said, man, if anybody wanna hit me up on that call out, let me know what it is, and let me know when we got to get our dogs together, and we'll get them together, man. If I lose, I lose. I mean, life don't stop. Hopefully, life don't stop because I lost. If Supreme kick my ass or Yellow One kick my ass, hopefully life don't. I can still do my show and all that type of stuff, and sell my little book and hope everything be straight. All it is a loss, And I think I think losses sometimes make a brother more sharp, because I wouldn't have been as sharp as I was with Bo if I would have never took that loss the way I took it. You know what I'm saying? It made me have to go back to the drawing board, and it made me go back with a different mind frame. You know what I'm saying? I had to tighten it up. If I would have took that loss with Bo at that day, then I could have took a loss later on down the line that could have been worse for me. Could have been worse for me. Could have been a loss that I couldn't just pick him up in that situation that I was in. So sometimes we take them losses, man, and make you a better dog man, a better, not necessarily saying dog, just a dog man in general. But then again, you got boxers the same way they say brothers don't know how to lose, man. we can all say everybody done lost one time before. If you was out there playing around, you done lost. But does it hurt for me to have the attitude that I don't know how to lose? You know, I mean, we can try to be humble and say, oh man, everybody lose. Yeah, everybody lose. Everybody win. Sometimes, you know, some people just have higher percentages, higher, times that they won when it comes to the times that they went out. But because I go out 50-50 and I lost 50 of mine and I won 50, I can't act like when you get up here and you say, oh, you went out 80 times and you only lost 20, it's not real. I can't act like, oh, that brother say he went out 90 times and lost 10. It ain't real because I went out 50-50. My dog story is not the holy grail. It's only a story. You know? Only a story that we can enjoy, man. A lot of old school dog brothers, you're so emotional and you show it in different ways. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it comes out in too much pride. You know, like I said, let dogs do the talking. You know, I got dogs just like everybody else got them. I heard what the man said this morning. Call the motherfucker out. You know, and we ain't talking about no fighting. We ain't talking about no cracking, no joking, no none of that stuff, man. We talking about bulldogging. Damn. It shouldn't be no animosity in some bulldogging. Damn. Shit, I'm gonna go get that scale and I'm gonna show you my dog weigh this. I say in 8 weeks, my dog gonna weigh that. And I'm doing that just to make it hard for me, just to make me feel like I got something to work for. You know what I'm saying? If I just work my dog out just to get him in shape, that shit don't thrive me enough, man. I need something to push me to this shit. You know what I'm saying? It gotta be something. It gotta be something. Because if I just bring a dog in just to work him and bring him in looking good, I'll bring a dog out tomorrow that never been worked and that motherfucker ripped up all the way to the T, never been worked up, period. And you're gonna say, oh man, that dog worked. No, never been worked. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta do something to make me work. So I know if I say, Vernon Star, what's going on, man? We're gonna compete in that dog show summer I got coming up in May. I'm calling you out, Vernon Star. I'm saying this an example now, Vernon. Don't get on my ass. I'm saying if I'm calling you out, that thing the boys was talking about this morning, you know, me and you will compete against each other during their dog show as a special little event type shit like that. You know what I'm saying? That he'll put somewhere or another, he'll advertise it throughout the dog show, you know, and we'll compete with our two dogs. You know, and if I say, Vernon, my dog gonna be 53 pounds, and you say, yo, your dog gonna be 45. I don't care if your dog 45 today, long as you hold that 45 till 8 weeks, and you show me, oh, this dog weigh 45. You got to show me that shit. That's all I want to see, the dog weigh 45. Oh, Vernon did that. We ain't got to put no money on the dang on, we ain't got to put no money on the keep, like far as if he don't weigh right. Bragging rights. Man, Vernon couldn't keep that dog on weight that day. I kept that dog on weight that day. Bragging rights is all is cool. I'm cool with bragging rights, dog. Everything don't gotta be about money. I'm from the old school, fam. Let's get our knees dirty. I ain't talking about you, Vernon. Now I'm just speaking in general. And salute to your fam. You know, dropping in tonight. That's one of the best things I heard, man. Brother calling brother out. Let's get it. You know what I'm saying? Hey, have fun. Enjoy these dogs, man. Life too short. You know what I'm saying? It's too many great dogs. It's too many brothers that's unknown, that's still unknown, it's gonna stay unknown. It's too many brothers that's out here. Man, we can't just everybody just do them, man, and enjoy this shit and just have fun, man. That's all it is to it. If I say your dog ain't shit, Vernon Star, you shouldn't be wanting to really beat me up. You know what I'm saying? If you say a Mellow Yellow ain't shit, I shouldn't be wanting to beat you up for that, man. That ain't how it went down in the days. You know? And if brother give us an opportunity to have some type of competition to prove that the dogs ain't nothing or the dogs is something, you know, in that type of way, you know what I mean? It's like you say, it's all fun, man. All fun. Hell, some of us need to exercise a little bit anyway. Shit, might help us get there and exercise a little bit more. You know, we got to get in shape with them dogs. And it's brothers like Gas and Golden that won 2 or 3 times in that dog show, and we see their dogs ripped up. I ain't gonna lie to you. In my head, I feel like Gas and Golden break some of them dogs out. Don't even work them dogs. Some of them dogs he got, they just that ripped up. I feel like he could break some of them dogs out and probably give me competition and make me have to struggle with my damn dog. You know, because they're good looking dogs, but I'll still step to them. Bring that smoke out. Bring old demon or whoever the hell out. I don't care. You know, it's just fun, man. Enjoy that shit. And meeting good brothers for our era, man. You know, we ain't in the 90s, we in the social media era. You know, so we handle things different. Yes, sir, man. And like I always say, man, whoever listen to me talk about them yellow dogs, you gotta understand that I'm just a yellow fan. The yellow, you know, that's my opinion about the yellow dogs. Whatever dogs you like is your opinion. None of us right or wrong, man. This is our opinion. And you like chocolate milk and I like white milk, or you like eggs with cheese and I like straight eggs, scrambled it or sunny side up or something. It's just our preference, though. But this thing they talking about call out, that's who can scramble them eggs the best. Who be doing the same thing. Who can bring it to the table the best. You know? Yeah, man, I ain't keeping y'all brothers here too long tonight. You know, I had an open panel. I dropped a link one time and may have got lost in the chat. I got an interview coming up for brothers over the next couple of days that I got with a brother. Great brother. We're going to talk about some dogs and stuff. Like I said, man, anybody that ever want to get a story out or got a question that want to talk about it, you know, you're always welcome to come up. It just is what it is, fam. You know, like the boy say, iron sharpen iron, man. The only way you can, and this is the thing, man. As I feel like a great dog man always stay open, keeps some part of his brain open for new ideas. You know, that's just my opinion. I feel like the moment you said your brain, you won't let nothing else in, you know, it's the moment you slipping. You know, the moment the little young brother's gonna pass you in the game, or one of these older brothers gonna pass you in the game. I feel like, you know, even as older brothers, we can't say, oh, we know it all. We know what we've been through, but things change every other day, man. With these bulldogs, we learn something new all the time. You know, the brother was just telling me the other day, Brother Dante was telling me about the earth dirt stuff that you threw down for the fleas and stuff, you know, that you could buy at the stores. Like, I never knew nothing about that stuff. You can learn stuff all the time. You know, you got brothers who work gardens and stuff. They know how to kill fleas instantly. We need to be hollering at these brothers who work gardens, who got all these gardens and farm brothers. We don't bring no farm brothers up here to ask them, oh, how y'all handle fleas and insects on y'all product and y'all gardens and stuff like that, man. Because that's gonna be the best way to keep the fleas out of our yard. Getting it from the brothers like that. The same way we say, talk to the sled dog brothers to get a little information about certain things you do with your program. You know, you just gotta know how to improvise, man. You know what I'm saying? Know how to use that information to your liking. You know, same way I say about the pit bull book. You know, you can get any dog book. I don't care if it's about Rottweilers, Dobermans, or whatever. And you can take the stuff out that book and use it for your dog. You know, any book you get. I can go get a Rottweiler book. It's going to tell me how to feed, exercise, do what I got to do with my dog. And I got a pit bull. And that book talking about nothing but Rottweilers. Because at the end of the day, a canine is a canine. You know, the history and all that stuff and the stories would make stuff different. You know, but a canine is a canine. You got to take care of them. You got things that's universal. That's going to go from breed to breed. That ain't going to change. You know, so that's how I look at it. Vernon Starr say pool salt will get those fleas. Pool salt. What do you mean by pool salt? You mean like salt for a swimming pool? Now I seen brothers on Facebook, on YouTube, was showing a video about washing a dog down in baking soda and stuff. Kate Walk, what's going on, man? I ain't sure if I spoke to you yet, fam. Appreciate you dropping in if I didn't. Yeah, that pool salt. Try it out, brothers. I probably got a chance of grabbing flea stuff before I got a chance to grabbing the pool salt, unless I get it from Walmart or somewhere like that. Because it's not really, unless I get that type of stuff from like a Harbor Freight or something. I gotta go to the beach and find a pool store or something for that. Oh yeah, that's my kind of product. $7 for 40 pounds. Shit. Yeah. I'll make that work. Where you put it, on the dog or the yard? For the yard, right? It's that dang old time of the year, brothers. It's that time of the year, man. They here. They been here all winter. But man, they here now, boy. A dog, man, worst nightmare. A damn flea. A bed of fleas is a dog, man, worst nightmare. When you got fleas in the yard and they're jumping all over your pets and stuff, that's a dog, man, worst nightmare, man. Other than Parvo. That shit seems like it's hard to get them fleas off of them jokers, ain't it? So we throw the pool salt in the yard, and then we wet it down, let it soak in the dirt, brothers and sisters, and that helps with the fleas. Now, that earth stuff, that earth salt that I was telling you about, that ain't what it's called, but that's what it's called. You know, that stuff my brother was telling me about, you let that soak in the ground as well. And you know what, man? I had some real good success with fleas a couple years back, you know, and that's exactly what I did. I soaked my ground with some different things, like earlier that winter, say like right now, like March, February, and stuff like that. So when April came, May, and the hot months came, I was good. And my flea thing was like little to none, man, that whole year. And I was like, man, it had to be because I soaked my ground before. And Vernon, man, I ain't gonna lie to you, dog. Soaking that ground is kind of almost more important than the actual flea powder on the dog. You know what I'm saying? Because simple fact, you know, I went, you know how many times I went and got flea stuff for my dog last year? And because the fleas are in the sand, not jumping all over your pants leg, they just in the sand to where, oh, you got the fleas off of them, but they ain't off the ground. So now the dog go digging up holes, trying to get cool because it's hot outside. They digging up holes, and he go laying in the holes, and the fleas is jumping all on him. You know, and it's like it work against the flea medicine. So you got to treat the ground as well, man. You know, you really won't know. You know, you really won't know if your flea stuff work if you don't treat the ground. Yep, they say fleas can't live in water. They say fleas can't live in water, neither oil. You know, some brothers say apple cider vinegar works. It ain't work for me though. You know, maybe I used it wrong, but it didn't work for me. See, a lot of things, it'll take the fleas off your dogs, but it don't repel the fleas from your dogs. Okay, if I go wash my dog, yeah, the fleas gonna come off of them because I'm washing them with dishwashing liquid or flea and tick shampoo. That'll come off of them. You know, some flea and tick shampoo will stay in their skin and their pores and stuff. You know, but once that stuff dry up, you know, them little jokers come back. So, you know, treating the ground is probably one of the most important things, man. You know, to keep them fleas and stuff off them dogs. Yeah, I appreciate everybody rocking with me tonight, man. I'm getting some things put some things together in the process in the studio, working on some things. And I'm gonna have to try that. So it gotta be pool salt, Vernon. I can't go buy no damn table salt. It gotta be pool salt. I can't go get a big jug of that salt with a little girl on the front with the umbrella. The iodine salt. Yep. Like I said it earlier. You want to go out cheap, you get cheap results. You know, you want to get the real deal, go get the pool salt. You want your fleas to come back later on in the evening, go get you some table salt that you put on your chicken. Your fleas will be back later on. Get the real deal. You want real results, you got to pay for it. Yes, sir, man. I ain't keeping y'all brothers here too long though. I gotta get up out of here, man. I had a great time with y'all brothers tonight. I really didn't get to talk about everything I wanted to talk about because I started mixing some things up and cross talking a little bit on certain topics. But I appreciate y'all rocking with me tonight, man. Just remember, man, take care of them dogs. Sky's the limits. Oh yeah, Street Rossi, you 100% right about that. I gotta put that up on the thing. It's easier to prevent fleas than it is to get rid of. You're 100% right about that, big dog. And boy, look here. You know, people who got dogs in the house, they say if you get you get them things in your carpet and stuff like that, boy, look here. They say that's hard to get up out of there. I'm wood flow through my whole house though, and tile. But you know, as far as the carpet wise, I have had carpet in my house with dogs though. Heck yeah, $7 for two bags of that pool soap. That'll give you about 80 pounds. 80 pounds. That'll last you pretty much the whole summer. Yeah. I don't mess with no carpet. If I'm gonna have dogs and stuff. You know what I'm saying? No. You know how you can put carpet inside your doghouse as well? I did that before, and that even made it kind of turned to a little mess. You know, like a flea bed type shit. You know what I'm saying? It get wet, it dry, get wet and dry. The dog in and out of the house. When you flea the dog and giving the dog the spray and stuff, the fleas jump onto that little carpet inside the dog house, and they sit there and wait on them to come back and forth inside the house all day long. You know, so carpet is kind of like a dog's worst nightmare. It can be. I'm gonna say it like that. It can be when it comes to fleas and different things like that. But yeah, man, I'm glad y'all rock with me tonight. Street Rossi, I'm still waiting on them Cane Corso videos, man. Still waiting on them. Nope, you ain't got cane corso. You got Presses, man. My fault, dog. Don't beat me up or nothing. But I'm still waiting on Presses videos, man, and you know, so I can give these brothers that stuff, man. And I appreciate y'all rocking with me tonight. Y'all stay safe. Y'all stay legal out there, man. Do the right things with these dogs. And remember where you get it from first. PBK9s, and we out.